Hello friends, in these difficult times of pandemic due to COVID-19, when we are hearing all bad news from everywhere, our country's economy is collapsed, our routine is disturbed, and we are trying our best, struggling to cope up with the losses at our professions. In spite of all that, we are trying to live with the hope, with the positivity that someday this all will be clear. But somewhere down in your mind, a question must be raised. Microorganisms, are they our friends or enemies? To give you a positive thought, I am going to tell you how microorganisms are our friends. And that's what these organisms are telling us. We are not your enemies. We are not all that bad that you think. We are your friends. So I'm very sure, as a common knowledge, you must be knowing that the idli batter that gets fermented at your house is because of the action of microorganisms. Or maybe the curdling of the milk is because of the microorganisms. Yes, but microbes do play much more role than just this. So I'm going to throw some light upon different fields in which microorganisms are very useful for us. And these fields include food industry, medicine, agriculture, environment, industrial productions, and every topic that is listed is so vast that I cannot explain it in just few minutes. I'm therefore going to just take an overview of all these. And to add to it, now their friendly nature has been so much exploited by human beings that we are thinking of using them almost everywhere. Let us throw some light upon each industry, each field, step by step. Food industry. So when I say food industry, microorganisms can be added to the food in order to increase the flavors or for the process of fermentation, as we all discussed. But other than that, we can actually eat the microbes. Yes, I'm sure the dosa, idli batter, jalebi and dofa dokla, you all know that these are the actions of fermentations. But apart from that, the bread that we eat, the wine or whiskey like alcoholic beverages are also the result of fermentation activity by microorganisms. Some of you might be very fond of mushrooms, and mushrooms are nothing but microorganisms. White button mushroom, paddy straw mushroom, Agaricus bisporus to be specifically talked about with scientific name are all edible mushrooms. And apart from this, we also know something called as single cell protein, where we can use a consortium of microorganisms like bacteria, algae or yeast, and they provide us all the proteinaceous requirements of the body. We can have spirulina biscuits made out of it and can be sold. You must have heard about probiotics. The flavored yogurt that is sold in the supermarkets are being loved by kids and even oldies. But what are they? They are nothing but the digestion improving live organisms. Then what are prebiotics? So prebiotics is actually indigestible by us. However, when they are taken in, when they are ingested, probiotics, that is the live organisms, feed upon them and they multiply and they grow and thereby improve our digestion. Symbiotics is the mixture of both probiotics and prebiotics. And this is how microbes help in improving the flavors and varieties in food, or we can directly use microbes as food. After talking about food industry, the second important industry is the life, that is the medicine. So you must be thinking, for medicine we have all negative values, right? pathogenic organisms are present everywhere and we are getting treated for all sorts of infections. But that's not the just case. We also have another pathogens, the friendly ones, that come to our rescue. For example, you all have heard of antibiotics. What are they? They are nothing but the products given by microorganisms to kill the other organisms. We know that deficiency of vitamins because of the poor intake of food might lead to certain deficiency syndromes. Say for example, vitamin C deficiency might lead to scurvy, or vitamin B12 deficiency might lead to something called as pernicious anemia. But these deficiencies could be taken care of using synthesized vitamins, using tablets that are available in the market. So who is giving you these vitamins? Nothing but our microbes. Normal flora is something that we already have on our skin. These are our organisms. These are the organisms that protect us. Without their presence, we will not be able to sustain. And so, normal flora organisms are very much required for our livelihood. The vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine. When will it come? When will we have it? When will this all end? And when will we have our routine re-established? Definitely. This will happen someday soon. But do you know how vaccines are created? With the help of microorganisms again. Astonished? We are actually training our immune system by presenting a piece of microbe that is not having pathogenicity or ability to infect, and that is how we are creating vaccines. And this creator, I don't know if you have ever seen, but this is our enemy's enemy that becomes our friend. So it is actually a virus, but virus that infects bacteria, and such bacteria which cause infection to us, we can actually be friends with such virus and get rid of those bacteria. So phage therapy, although it is not in practice yet, there are some technical issues that are being sorted with the different research projects. But as soon as we get an answer, phage therapy might be a natural and good alternative for antibiotic therapy. As we all know, overuse of antibiotics has created multi-drug resistant pathogens and they are giving rise to superbugs. Therefore, we need to quickly get rid of such problems and come up with more natural solutions. Phage therapy could be one of them. After talking about medicine field, let's go ahead and talk about the third important field, which is agriculture. In agriculture, we aim for two important processes. First, to save our crops from all sorts of pests or weeds, and second important criteria is to promote their growth using natural eco-friendly solutions. So using microorganisms, we can definitely achieve them. I am sure you know various eco-friendly microbial pesticides, herbicides, weedicides, which are in use now, and we are all talking about organic farming. At the same time, on the other hand, we are also talking about biofertilizers. The biofertilizers which will enhance nitrogen fixation, will maintain the soil microflora, will also help plants to get more water and nutrient absorbed through roots. So nitrogen fixers could be symbiotic or asymbiotic, but in both conditions they are microbes which actually fix the nitrogen from atmosphere and give it to the plants. Because of them, the plants grow, and plants are, that important primary producers in the food chain. PGTRs are nothing but plant growth promoting rhizobacteria, which help in growth of the plants. They are basically at the roots and promote the growth, and that is why named as rhizobacteria. Mycorrhizae are fungal biofertilizers which help roots to absorb more water and nutrients. One more thing to add to this is you all must have heard of transgenic crops, where we are introducing a gene from a separate species into plants in order to make them naturally protected from the pests. And this is how we are utilizing biotechnology and microbiology together in the betterment of society. After agriculture, the fourth important field is environment. In environment, I'm sure you must have heard of biogas production and also sewage treatment. We are creating such a lot of sewage that again microorganisms come to our rescue. They are the ones that actually degrade all the organic content in the sewage and convert it into a water that could be released into fresh bodies. Biogas production utilizes different kinds of microorganisms like acidogenic or methanogenic bacteria, which will actually help us to give a biogas. There is one more point under environment which I could not actually enlist under any specific title because nowadays scientists are understanding that science has to be used for the betterment of the environment, for the ecosystem, and therefore they are creating solutions that are eco-friendly. Let me give you an example. We all know that plastic is becoming a problem which is difficult to solve, and microbiologists and biotechnologists and many other professionals are working together to come up with a solution to this problem. They are actually trying to isolate microorganisms that can degrade plastic. They are trying to enhance their abilities for their degradation. At the same time, we are also coming up with some alternative products that could be used instead of plastic. In these both ways, we can get over with the problem of plastic pollution. Let me give you another example. Energy resources are very limited, and therefore we need to think of some alternatives in order to utilize or conserve energy. All of us must have seen firefly. In a firefly, the mechanism is there is an enzyme called luciferase. This enzyme helps organism to glow at night. What scientists thought was if the gene for this enzyme could be obtained from that organism and introduced in plants, and plants start glowing at night, we won't require street lamps every street, and that would save lot of energy. So think of a future of biotechnology where the environment, the ecosystem will be at balance even when we are having all sorts of luxuries and human beings and other species staying happily with each other. There are many such projects taken care of by different societies and different population in the world. After talking about environment, let us talk the last aspect of industrial productions. The whole dairy industry is based on the same fact that certain microorganisms play a very good role in giving us certain milk products. We have to standardize and we have to maintain those conditions in order to get the best out of it. I'm sure you have heard of different names of these acids: citric acid, itaconic acid, ketoglutaric acid. All these acids are used in many industries for various purposes. Who gives us these acids? Nothing but our friends, our microorganisms. You must have heard of something called as enzymes. These enzymes, which are listed on the screen, can be obtained by number of organisms, and each enzyme has number of application in different industries. To list a few, I will say amylases, invertases, proteases, beta-glucanases, pectinases, lipases. These are just few. The list goes on and on. They are used in, you would see, pharmaceuticals, food industry, beverage industry, and medical. Everywhere they are being used. So, actually, 99% that we are able to do anything is because of the microorganisms. Microbiome is the new term that will give us answers to many more questions. Microorganisms are the superpowers and they are our friends. Look at them positively. In fact, this is a question to be answered. Are we more microbe than man? But just to conclude this, I would say that science is for betterment of entire ecosystem and not just human beings. As a scientist, one should always look for the betterment of the entire ecosystem. I hope you have liked the presentation and you have really given a positive thought towards microbial world. Stay updated, stay motivated. Thank you so much.